The World Championships in track and field are coming, and considering Sha'Carri Richardson is a reigning world champion in the 100-meter dash, you would think her performance on the track would be what most people are focused on right now. But in America, that is not true. I mean, yes, she pulled up to the USA Championships, ran a few races. Again, she had a bye to the World, so she didn't have to run all the heats of the 100. And beyond that, she's scheduled to run in some Diamond League meetings coming up this weekend and going beyond that, like in the next few weeks. So we expect to see her on the track. But when I woke up this morning, the Breakfast Club was discussing the drama surrounding her and Christian Coleman. If you don't know much about the Breakfast Club, they have nothing to do with track and field. But they're talking about the sport, or at least people involved with it, because there's drama that really had nothing to do with the sport. Now, I'm not here to get into those particulars. There's a whole bunch of channels and a whole bunch of places that are going to get into the weeds of their situation, what's going on, who did right, who did wrong. That is not what I'm here to debate or focus on. But when the Breakfast Club decides to talk about track and field, I listen because I want to hear how they talk about the sport. And what you need to know is that they don't know much. Now, this is one of those videos where some people make jokes about it, but yes, I originally had no intentions on making this one. I mean, like even 30 minutes before I decided to hop on the camera, I had no plans on making this video. But the more I thought about it, I said, you know what? Let's have the real conversation, or at least one of them, the one that nobody seems to want to pay attention to. If you are not American, I mean, if you're Jamaican and you're watching this channel, shout out to you. Really appreciate you watching. If you are from South Africa, from Australia, from anywhere in the Caribbean, St. Lucia, Barbados, I mean, like all the people who watch me internationally, I truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. But I'm about to deal with some in-house issues when it comes to America, specifically how we deal with track and field. So if that's not what you understand, then maybe I can shed some light on how things go down here. Like, because the way we see it, and I'm starting to learn the way the rest of the world sees it is not the same thing. But hey, here we go. Let's get into it. Because when the Breakfast Club talks about Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman, the wheels really come off the tracks when they start making jokes about Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman, specifically when it regards to speed. Because the joke was that because she's a fast woman, that she's faster than Christian Coleman and can chase him down and so on and so forth. Now, again, there's a context, but that's not important. What matters right now is the assumption or the belief that her, as a woman sprinter, is faster on the clock than Christian Coleman. Now, if you know track and field, like really know the sport, then of course that is a joke. But they got to a point where it was a real debate, and then they had to Google the personal best for both of them. For neither athlete did they actually get a personal best. They didn't even know where to look to find one. But the stats they got was still pretty clear that Christian Coleman in 2023 was the world leader in the 100. At that time, all he had to do was run 9.83 seconds. I said all he had to do. And Sha'Carri Richardson had run in 2024 about 10.7 low. Regardless, it's pretty clear that as a man, he's faster. This is not a discussion about men versus women that I'm having. What the discussion is that they are so removed from the sport because they had seen Sha'Carri Richardson, like the time that the Breakfast Club people see her, the reason why she's a big name in track and field for America is because Sha'Carri Richardson isn't just an athlete. She's a brand. She's way much more than that. And when they see Sha'Carri Richardson, they're used to seeing her all the way in the front of the race. That's it. They don't know about times. They don't understand, the details of, like what it takes to sprint. They don't know about a down start or a drive phase or any of that. Again, they don't understand the clock. They don't know what the records are. They don't know how to find the records. They might understand Usain Bolt has a world record, but they probably couldn't tell you what it is or what it means. They don't even know that Christian Coleman beat Usain Bolt in 2017 in a world championship final. They probably don't even know the world championships are a thing or that they're going to happen soon. This is where we're starting the negotiations from in America. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. People had the discussion when it came to the whole Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarik thing, the track spice situation. Like with the stare down, the idea was, is this attention going to bring, more eyes to the sport? Newsflash. No, it is not. The conversation that people were having in the streets, the reason why a whole bunch of channels that have nothing to do with track and field, but are related to the sports community, or in this case, the Breakfast Club, the Breakfast Club is not related to sports at all. They just talk about whatever's hot, like hot to them, like whatever's the hot topic. These channels are having conversations about track athletes, but they're not really talking about track at all. They're not bringing attention to the sport. They're bringing attention to disputes, arguments, issues that people have, like personal things. That's what they're focused on. So when you realize, and this is where I talk about the in-house issues, there's a major discrepancy from what I can tell between what track and field represents to America and what it represents to many other nations in the world. Now, when Grand Slam track happened, I think this is a great place for us to understand it. Grand Slam track was primarily focused on the American market. And there's a reason why. Because the international structure of track and field, like the World Championship event and what it means, it does work pretty well if you are coming from a non-American context. If you're a smaller country, again, like a nation that just doesn't have a large population size, the idea that you can find one man or one woman who can win a world championship in an event, like that sounds very appealing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the worlds, but that is way more achievable than anything that rivals like true professional sport, aside from showing up to one event on the calendar, which has qualification schema that wants to bring people from your country. Let's keep that part in there. Like, they don't just take the fastest people. They take the fastest people who represent different nations. And that brings us to America, because in America, we have a whole bunch of track and field talent, specifically in the sprinting events and some of the distance events and so on. And they can't all go to the Worlds the way it's set up. If you look at our college system, the way that thing is designed, we have more teams, more roster spots than we know what to do with. It's the reason why the rest of the world sends their athletes here to compete and train. Because they're like, hey, at least the Americans are gonna, give you a coach, give you a track, take you to meets. They'll do all that for you. Like, it just is what it is. When it comes to pro track then, because there is no viable pro league, Grand Slam track was trying to take us there. Again, focused on the American market. Track and field athletes are just not visible. They're not seen. People don't know what's going on in the sport if we're talking about in America. Because when you win a world championship and you are American, it's not really like you won a championship for America. You really won a championship for you and your sponsor. But like, America doesn't care. Like, it just, that's the truth. You win a world championship and you're in Poland or Jamaica, I'm pretty sure it means a whole lot more to those nations than it does to America. Like, I'm not saying nobody cares. Like, the track community cares, but the larger sports community in the nation, it's not that big a deal. Just being real. The Olympics, a little bit more because of the mystique of it. But again, just a little bit more. It's the reason why when Noah Lyles started talking a few years ago. Now we're going back to 2023. The World Championship comments and the NBA and so on, because the NBA is a professional sports league. That's what they are. It's an American league. And they fill it out with American players and then invite international people to join. Like, but they'd be fine if they didn't have international athletes. Like, we could still run the league without international athletes. So when we say pro sports and pro track and field, I guess the real discrepancy, like the real shift, is that the internationalized model, where we have an amateur sport with professional athletes in it, works fine enough for many other countries. And everything that goes into it, peaking for a world championship, having this amazing performance and going after a gold medal, that's fine for them. But if you're American, we have way more fast people than we know what to do with. The USA Championship final in the 100 this year for the men, again, 986, 984, that did not get you sent to compete at the games or compete at the World Championship. You got left off the team with those times. Times that would have gotten you on almost anywhere else in the world, probably would have been the champion or been the national record in most places in the world. But in America, you're just going to be sitting at home. You're just a guy. So I am aware that when we talk about pro track and field and whether the sport is in a state of crisis and, kind of where it needs to go and where it needs to grow, a lot of that is an American perspective. Again, I'm not saying all Americans agree with me, but a large percentage. If you're an athlete who is one of the fastest in America, but not top 3, never gone top 3 at the USA's, but you know that your talent would get you on a national team for almost anywhere else in the world, and you probably would have made Olympic semifinals, would have had a shot to make a final, like if you could just get out of, the American trials. Like if you're in that group, this system is broken. What we do with it, like the truth is, if America wants to have, or American athletes are going to have anything nice to allow them to compete, it's going to have to happen with a pro track league. It just is what it is. Is it going to be individualized or a team? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty clear that nobody's ready to do team, at least not in any full form. Atlo said they're going to try to do something. I'll get to that in a moment. But in general, it's pretty clear that something's going to have to change. Right now, let's just listen to what the Breakfast Club is saying. They don't know about the times. They don't know about the records. They don't even know how to find the records. They don't even know the difference between men and women running and like the speeds. Like they don't get any of that. They understand competition. They understand winning. And they remember seeing Sha'Carri Richardson compete and watching her win. And when they saw her win big. That made her a star. That combined with her personality. So it's pretty clear that when you talk about the larger sports community, that's all people want. Go out there and compete. Compete hard. Compete with stakes on the line. Go out there and win. And you have a product. Track and field athletes in the current model with the internationalized model, talking as an American, we don't compete enough. Even when we do compete, the general narrative starts to become that, okay, these races don't matter as much, or we're preparing for this one, or, oh, they ran slow in this race because, this race is just preparation, or they ran that one as a practice. Like, these are all the types of things I hear in the comments. I get it. I'm talking from the American context right now. That in America, the way pro sports work, is you go out there and you compete in the regular season where there are wins and losses. That's how we do it here. And in those sports, the ones that actually make money, you have to play enough games or compete enough to, be able to have a viable product that can go to TV regularly for people to watch it. And once you've competed and these wins and losses add up, then there's a playoff where the best teams, the best athletes, or whoever, they get to compete to make it to a championship. The ones who aren't good enough, you're eliminated. You're going to be sitting at home. When the playoff is done, we eliminate people out till we have a champion. That's it. And that's not track and field right now. We run a whole bunch of races, again, internationalized, but if you're an American athlete, this applies to you. Those races have no real value unless you're at your national trial. And in America, I've already told you how hard that's going to be. You got to go top 3. In the sprints, good luck with that. Like, good luck going top 3 most years. And then, the World Championship, specifically the final, is the only other thing that matters. You only got to show up to 2 meets in the entire year. Everything else is just figuring out how to get accepted to show up to the starting line. You could lose every single race by a lot, and it wouldn't matter. That's not a viable pro sport product. Again, coming from the American context. Hey, I get it. Like I said, I'm not touching, the Christian Coleman, Sha'Carri Richardson drama. I don't really see a point. People are going to have their thoughts. It is what it is. That's their private business. That is, I guess, been made public by the circumstances. But what does matter is that all this attention that we're seeing around these 2 track and field athletes, 2 of the best that we've had in the world over the course of the past decade, like the better part of the past decade, Christian Coleman and Sha'Carri Richardson have been to the top of the world championship podium. They have gold in the 100-meter dash, individually. And people are not talking about them today because they care or even understand what they do. They don't know what it is, how to find it, where to watch it, or what it means. The only thing they know is the drama. And if that is what we think is bringing attention to the sport, good luck with that one. But hey, I'm just one guy. What do I know? In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything. Because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true. That fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.